This is a highlight for me. I want to introduce some of the faculty who taught in this building that we are remembering here today. We have 8 members of the 8 faculty persons who are here with us today. But before I do that, this seems like an appropriate time, speaking of faculty and administration, to recall something that was very important in this building to the faculty and administration. That was rules and regulations. You'll appreciate this, Principal. And in those days, I don't know if you still have this, the O book. Do you remember the O book? They gave you one of the. Do you still have an O book?
Student handbook, but we've done a lot of replication.
Okay, well, this was given to the students. You got one of these every year. I must have got this when I was a sophomore. It says 1952. One year it would be a blue cover with white lettering. The next year it was a white cover with blue lettering. Other than that, it was pretty much the same. And it had a lot of information in it, but it had a lot of rules and regulations of the school. And I thought maybe I'd just read a couple here and you take these down, Principal. This is in the area under rules and regulations under corridor and traffic regulation. And after in bold print they say do not jaywalk on Capitol Way, they go on to say several years ago a student committee, the Better Corridor Committee, wow, what an honor to be on the Better Corridor Committee. They formulated the following regulations which will be enforced again this year. In the corridors, students must not gather in large groups and must not interfere with traffic. The best plan is to keep moving to the right. Of course, that put you over by the girls' lockers, didn't it? Good idea. Right. Smart committee. Everyone must stay out of restricted areas during lunch. And here's the important part. Scuffling, whistling, loud talking, undue familiarity between boys and girls, and other kinds of disorder are absolutely prohibited in corridors. Director Bremer, you'll like this one. This is on down further. State authorities will not permit students to play on the Capitol ground lawns. They do permit students to sit on the lawns when they are dry and firm. I don't know when that ever. And remember, the courthouse was next door. County authorities do not permit students in the courthouse except for business reasons. If you were under arrest, you could go in there. But do you remember we used to come in school and you could see the prisoners up on the top floor and they were waving at you? I could go on. One more. This is about dances. Dance rules. Do not, when you go to the dance, do not dance a straight program. Remember the little dance cards you used to have, Phil? Do not dance a straight program with one partner all evening. Mix with your fellow students. Be democratic. Now, this is a small D. Be a good sport. Help everybody have a good time. Not a bad idea for today. Well, this was a long way around of introducing our 8 faculty members here. I hope that brought back some memories of the old school. Let me first introduce Ernest Anderson, who taught journalism and English. Ernie. You look great, Mr. Anderson. This next name, I thought, she couldn't possibly have taught there because she was 1 year at that old building, because she was 1 year behind me at Olympia High School, but she did. I talked her to Carol Swanson Bowe. She got right out of college and came right back to OHS to teach, and she taught English. And another English teacher who I remember when he came to Olympia High School, Jim Carlson, who taught English and Jim taught English and always had a great debate team at Olympia High School. We have with us Mary Campbell, who taught drama. Mary? Olympia always had a great drama program, I always thought. Although I was in the worst play that was ever put on at Olympia High. It was before you came. It was a Greek tragedy, Antigone. I mean, that is too deep for the cast, much less the, the people watching the play. You liked it? Okay, well, all right, I changed. It was a great play. Walter Chance is here with us, who taught botany and science. Walter. And Doris Colvin, who taught business and commercial. Doris. And Gwen Williams, who taught physical education. Gwen. And I am so pleased to see Mary Farrington, seated right over here, who taught French and English. Mary. And Mary, I think, as most of you know, was a longtime member of the Olympia School Board. And her father, Clayton Farrington, was one of the great teachers at Olympia High School. I taught history for many years. So. And your brother Sam was in the class of '54 on top of that. So. Entertainment was always a big part of school life at Olympia High School. I'm sure we'd all agree with that wonderful auditorium we had. Remember the talent assemblies that we had, and with this great music department and a great drama department. So it's not surprising then that a wonderful professional singing group sprung forth from the student body in the 1950s. They were, of course, the Fleetwoods. The old-timers all know this, but maybe some of the youngsters don't, that the name Fleetwoods was taken from Olympia's telephone exchange. I remember as a kid, our number on the west side phone number was 8990, and then when we got the telephone exchange, it became Fleetwood 38990, and we thought Olympia had arrived. We were like New York. We had a telephone exchange, and the singing group took that name and used it. And the original three Fleetwoods, all of whom were from Olympia High School, were Gary Troxell, Gretchen Christopher, and Barbara Ellis. And they made it to the top big time. They were on the top of the music charts with a number of songs, including, of course, the most famous, Come Softly to Me and Mr. Blue. We are very fortunate today to have one of the original Fleetwoods here with us, Gary Troxell. He will be singing with Cheryl Huggins and Bonnie Hanukini, and they will be singing as the Fleetwoods. Gary? Can you cane?